The following podcast is a next level production.
Welcome to Wilhelm and Let's Talk Television. I'm your host, Ben Beck, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there who have either fallen into the position, taken up the position, whatever it is, father, dad, stepdad, whatever it may be. This is your time to relax and celebrate, and be celebrated, rather. But we're going to take this time to talk about our top 5 favorite TV dads. A couple months ago, we did top 5 favorite TV moms for Mother's Day. This time for Father's Day, we're doing TV dads, of course. And to do that, I need help. She's a fellow podcaster, my co-host for the We Have to Go Back Lost Revisited podcast, which will be returning soon, I promise. But more importantly, she's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Please welcome my guest, Kristin Halberg.
That was a really intense introduction. That made me feel really good and really embarrassed all at the same time.
Why would you feel embarrassed by that?
Because you're one of my favorite people too. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's about time we did this. This podcast has been going on for over a year now. Mm-hmm. But you've had a ton of stuff going on in your life. It's one of the reasons why the Lost podcast kind of got put, on the back burner for now. But on that topic, we've gotten a bunch of messages from people asking like, what happened to the podcast? When is it coming back? And you're finally getting to a point where actually both of us are at a point now where we can start doing it again.
Yes.
And we're going to be hopefully making an announcement sometime really in the near future about when that's going to be returning.
Yes. I hope that we can get going on it again really soon.
Yeah.
We just needed, I just needed to sell my house, sell all of my things, quit my job, have my husband retire from the Navy, disenroll my kids from school, start up our life on the camper, and then we'll be fine.
Well, but on top of all of that, we had to deal with a global pandemic. We had to deal with election issues and like all this other world crazy stuff on top of your own personal world going just as crazy. And
I don't know the last time that we even podcasted, but I used to have dogs and now I have cats. My whole life is just this weird alternate reality of its own.
It's been over a year since we've podcasted.
Okay.
I know that for sure. It's been over 6 months since we've even seen each other in person.
I know.
But that was such a great day that I know we talked about making that a yearly tradition.
I love that.
And I hope we do.
Christmas in DC, man.
Well, it was Boxing Day.
It was Boxing Day. And and it was wonderful.
It was the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
In DC, which I hadn't been to since like 6th grade. So we took the train into the city, me, you, and your family. We took the train into the city. We went and saw all these different sites like Lincoln Memorial. And all
I got followed by the Secret Service.
That's right. Right around the White House, you got followed by the Secret Service.
I got followed by the Secret Service.
But we went to a great Italian family style restaurant, which was amazing.
Carmine's. That was good. That was so much food.
So much food. Yeah, I ended up taking like 3 meals home.
Yeah, well,
3 meals worth of food home.
You could have probably eaten for a week with what.
I ate for like 2 or 3 more days.
Yeah, it was comfortably ate, not rationing out your food. Like comfortably had your fill and then put it back and done it again 3 more times.
I'll be honest with you. I was more than content just with the leftover tiramisu I brought home.
It was like a tray of tiramisu.
It was like a pie.
So anybody that's ever not been to Carmine's, it's this family style traditional Italian restaurant, and their portions. We've all been to Buca di Beppo, or a lot of people have been to Buca di Beppo. Buca di Beppo is probably like the Olive Garden version of what Carmine's is. It's just like the more budget friendly.
And then there's an Asian version to not. I don't think it's Panda Express, not Panda Express. God, I can't think of it. There's like a family style Asian restaurant chain too, and I can't remember what it is.
Like, PF Chang's.
PF Chang's, that's it. Yes, thank you.
That's good too, but at least their portions are like nice. Yes. Carmine's gives you enough for like a big Italian family.
Well, I mean, that's what Italian families do.
Right. But we're not, a big Italian family. I've got 2 kids that eat like birds and then the 3 of us.
Yes. I still remember, and I'll mention this and then we'll start getting into the stuff with the podcast. But I still remember one of my favorite things from that whole night was the fact that we ordered the pasta and we ordered like chicken parm and then we got the tiramisu for dessert, but we wanted some kind of vegetable. So we ordered that big bowl of broccoli.
Oh yeah.
And it came with lemon wedges. And I just remember like Dave and I like getting ready to dive in. And as you're sitting there, like you are proceeding to squeeze the lemon all over the broccoli. And as you do that, Dave and I just look at you like, what are you doing? And you're just like, well, we all like lemon on our broccoli, right? But I had never had that before, but I will tell you the truth. I ended up loving it.
I told you it was really good.
So good squeezing lemon on fresh steamed broccoli.
When you go to
since then,
when you go to a good restaurant and they give you something to use on the food, like use it on the food. Just use it on the food. Don't assume that you know better ever.
but I mean, it was just so funny that Dave, your husband, and I looked at you like, "What are you doing?" And you're just like, "Well, we all like lemon on broccoli, right?" And as you're already squeezing lemon on the broccoli. So if we didn't like it, we were out of luck.
I'm used to making food decisions in my family.
That was it.
I run things around here, Ben. Come on.
That was a great, and I really do hope we get to make that like a yearly.
Oh, that was so fun. Yeah, I hope so too. That'll be fun.
Yeah. But I miss this. Like I miss getting the podcast with you. So I'm excited for Lost to come back.
Me too.
I'm excited for you to join the Podcastica team again when House of the Dragon debuts on HBO.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And I'm excited for this because you and I were going to talk TV dads. And we're going to do a little bonus edition too, that after the break, when we come back, we're going to talk about our top 3 least favorite TV dads.
We'll just call them worst dads.
Worst TV dads.
Worst dads ever.
Yeah. We haven't done worst on the podcast before, so this is going to be interesting.
I'm excited.
This might lead into whole new episodes of the podcast where we talk
fun.
So before we do that, obviously, for anybody who's not familiar with the format of the show, neither Kristin nor myself have revealed any of our selections of our top 5 lists to each other as not to influence each other's choices. So at this point, I don't know any of Kristin's top 5 or least worst top 3, and she doesn't know any of mine. And as always with any podcast, there's always a chance of spoilers, so you have been warned. That said, let's dive into it and talk about our top 5 favorite TV dads. Starting from 5 to 1, I'll let you go first. Number 5, what have you got?
So I kind of looked at this as just making a list, and you'll see that my list has kind of a when I grew up kind of theme to it, okay. So the first one that I have, or my number 5, I guess, and I didn't do this in order, so I'm just kind of picking from my list of the one that I want to start with. And it's not a dad. It's somebody who stepped up as a dad, and it's Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I you know what? I'm just going to say this. He was my number 4.
Oh, so good. So let's combine them.
I'm just going to move him to number 5.
Okay, great.
And then this way we can talk about him together.
I love that. Okay. So, I mean, Uncle Phil is our favorite grumpy judge from the 1990s. If anybody ever watched the show, and I'm sure everybody out there has seen the show. And I'm not talking about, whatever the new show is now. I'm talking about the Will Smith original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Uncle Phil, right? And, he was always funny. He was always grumpy. He was always hating on his kids and Will, and he always seemed like he hated his life. But when it really came down to it, Uncle Phil was the best dad. He was there for his kids. He always wanted to be there for his kids. And he stepped up for Will and made him a man when Will came into that house as this joke of a boy. And, you see this evolution between the two between the two characters and how they just become more and more bonded. And then, and of course, there's the iconic episode that we all remember.
Yep.
Of why doesn't he love me? When Will's dad had left him again, and he's just sitting there and he's trying to stay strong about it. And Uncle Phil was just there for him in just such a real way. And he loved him in that moment. And that's, I think, the moment that Uncle Phil became Will's father. Like
yeah. And that episode, I don't even have to watch that whole episode. I
just
can just watch that clip, or even just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a time I have ever watched that clip and not gotten choked up.
I got choked up talking about it.
Yeah. But I mean, but I also want to correct you on one thing too, where you said like he is somebody who stepped up as a dad. He is actually a father. I mean, with
right.
Carlton and Ashley and what's the daughter's name? I can't remember the other daughter.
Mind your business.
Well, that's Ashley.
Oh, shoot. What was her name?
Yeah, I can't. I can't
start with a V, didn't it? No,
Vivian was the wife.
Vivian. Tori.
Oh, it's gonna bug me.
Well, now we have to look it up.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you completely. Hillary.
Wow, we were way off. Yeah, you know what? You're right. He was, but I don't think that he was really a present father before Will came to their house. They were all kind of doing their Bel Air thing where they all had their own separate lives. And, they had a butler and they had the mom. And, Carlton was this kind of douchey dude. And Hillary was a spoiled princess that really got whatever she wanted as long as she just like kind of looked pretty and stayed quiet. And it was kind of like they needed Will to show up and show them like they could be a family as well.
That's a really good point. I never really looked at it that way, in that, yes, Uncle Phil stepped up to be a father to Will. But I never looked at it in that sense that their family would be completely different if Will never showed up. They would have just continued on that way. And Ashley probably would have ended up a lot like Hillary.
Yeah.
But she was the most down to earth of all three of Philip's kids. And that's probably because Will showed up when she was really young.
Mm-hmm.
So I never looked at it that way.
Had an impact on the whole family. Yeah. I mean, it had such an impact on the family that the mom like totally changed about midway through.
Yeah. I mean, another episode. I know it's yeah. I mean, and another episode that always sticks out to me too as a prime example of what you mentioned about how Phil always, like when it came down to it, like he became the Papa Bear and he stepped up.
Yeah.
And another episode that I always think of too is the episode where Will and Carlton got hustled at the pool hall.
Oh yeah.
And Carlton,
I forgot about that episode.
And they call Phil to come in and he hustles the dude back.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was Phil stepping up for not only Carlton, but for Will.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he was also not afraid to give it to Will when he really needed, that shot of extra tough love. I mean, he's Mr. Tough Love, right? Like he was always just not impressed with anybody at any given time. But, when Carlton took Will's speed pills and almost died, or when Will got shot at the ATM, or I
forgot about that.
There's just so many moments where, you really see how much this man evolved as a father, as a man, as a judge, even, so yeah, he's definitely in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah. He was, like I said, he was my number 4, but I'm going to bump him to my number 5 just so we can kind of combine.
I love it
on that one. There was no way he could not. I mean, when I put these lists together, there are always, like 1 or 2 that absolutely stick out, that from the moment I come up with the topic, I'm like, well, this one has to be on my list and this one has to be on my list. Let me look into the other ones. And my number 1 was already determined. Like I knew who my number 1 was going to be. I knew who my number 2 was going to be, but I also knew that Philip Banks had to be somewhere on this list.
Uncle Phil.
Yep. So
what's yours?
Well, like I said, that Philip is going to be my number 5 as well.
Okay.
So he was my number 4. Not to say I don't think he should be higher on my list,
Right.
but he needed to be. I'm just swapping him one spot for the sake of conversation.
Right.
So then with that said, let's do number 4. Who's number 4 on your list?
No, what's your new number 4?
Well, we'll get to that after you. We go back and forth.
All right.
We go back and forth.
All right. Well, okay. So my number 4 is actually it's Schmidt from New Girl. He
becomes a dad.
He becomes the best dad. Anybody who watches New Girl knows that the character of Schmidt is driven by his brand, by his identity is work and what he does. And marketing is just that from the very first episode, he identifies himself by what he does for a living, by how much money he's making, by wearing the right clothes and talking to the right people and having the right business cards. Exactly. And then in the last season, I think it was season 7. It's 7 seasons, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I just pressed shuffle.
Me too.
And so you get to season 7 and it's 3 years later. They do a bit of a time jump in between season 6 and season 7. And Schmidt has become a dad and he has a 3-year-old. And not only has he become a dad, but he has quit his job. He has had his entire life revolve around his Ruth Bader Parikh Schmidt. They have this incredibly tight relationship.
And it's 6 seasons, by the way. And that's
okay.
Yeah.
They have this incredibly tight bond with each other. She's growing up and she's just spunky as Cece, but she's also just as silly as Schmidt. I don't know. Like Schmidt's my all-time favorite TV character of all time. So if I can sneak him onto any list, I will. Like
which is funny too, because I remember when you kept getting me, like you kept asking me, have you watched New Girl yet? Have you watched New Girl yet? And then I finally got into it. It took me a while to get into it because I didn't like Schmidt in the beginning.
I love him so much.
And then I think within like season 2, I think I started to kind of understand Schmidt's character because he came across very douchey and very obnoxious. And then I think by like the 2nd season, I started to really kind of understand Schmidt's character a little bit more.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging him a little bit more. I kind of like him a little bit more. And then I ended up loving the show by the end, and Schmidt as well. I think Max Greenfield is fantastic.
Well, I love what he did, in being a dad, just because like with the birthday parties, he took all of the things that he had learned from marketing and advertising and like his job, and he turned it, like he just morphed it into stay-at-home dad. Like when he planned the parties, it just had to be the exact right party. And, that goes back to when Schmidt used to plan his theme rebranded parties, the Tinfinity for him and Nick, or his rebrand of the theme Danger when he was doing the fire show, Schmidt goes in on everything 150%. And it's it was so fun to see him as a dad. And I would have loved to have seen him like a spinoff show with just him and Cece being like parents raising their kids. To me, it's awesome. So he was definitely number 4 for sure. Just because I just love how in it he was. And with, with the preschools, he wanted Ruth to be in the right preschool, the best preschool out there. But when it came right down to it, he stopped and he asked his daughter, where do you want to go? And she wanted to go to the one with the chicken,
I remember that episode
with the dirty hose water. And he's like, okay, well, that's what we're going to do then, So as much as he wanted to have his own design on parenthood, he knew to let his daughter have her own voice and her own opinions and to respect them. And, that's just all the good signs of a dad.
Yeah. I had a feel. I don't know why I didn't think that Schmidt would end up on this list, because it doesn't happen until the last season of the show that he does in fact become a father. So I guess for some reason I didn't think about that. I didn't think about Schmidt being a father, but it's a great choice.
Yeah, thank you.
Is Schmidt number 4? My number 4 is in a similar sense to Phil. from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, this individual is somebody who was a father at one time and unfortunately lost his child and then stepped up to be the father of another person. He is my favorite character in this series. I went with Jim Hopper from Stranger Things.
Okay, so I have Jim Hopper as well. So
do you?
Yeah,
Hopper is, and I'm not going to talk anything about season 4 of Stranger Things because I don't want to. There are people out there who haven't seen it yet, including myself. I am actually waiting until the last 2 episodes drop before I start.
You're insane, but okay.
I know I am. But I've avoided all spoilers at this point of anything.
Good for you. You are
4.
social. You are on all the socials. So good for you.
Although the only thing I did find out that I overwhelmingly is that a lot of people are saying that episode 4, which is Dear Billy, is overwhelmingly the best episode of the season. So, but I don't know because I don't know anything about it. I have a feeling because the title of the episode is Dear Billy that it has to do with Max. But I don't want to, I've avoided looking at anything.
I mean, I have all sorts of opinions on that sentence, but we'll just,
okay.
I'll stay blank faced and we'll just go. So we'll talk about Jim Hopper seasons 1 through 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we all know that by the trailers that Hopper survives, which,
what?
Right. Because, it is left kind of, you're led to believe that Hopper dies at the end of season 3. And even though at the end of season 3, I remember watching that finale and I'm like, yeah,
there was the post credits. There was a post-credit season at the end of season 3 when they're in Russia and they were dragging some
Hopper.
guy and it said the American, or they talked about the American that was in the cell at the very end in a Russian jail. That was absolutely.
Oh, I don't remember that part because I did just rewatch seasons 1 through 3 and I forgot.
There's that last little scene. It's like a Marvel extra scene.
I think I stopped the moment the episode ended because I didn't want Netflix to go right into season 4.
Oh, yeah.
So I forgot about that. But regardless.
But we're talking about him as a dad.
Which he absolutely steps up to become Elle's father. It is unfortunate that he did have a daughter who was sick and his daughter passed away. And then he stepped up to take on the responsibility of being a father figure for 11. And the situation to step up and be a father figure to somebody who is kind of abandoned and you haven't known for a long period of time is already one thing, but now you step up and you're taking on that role to somebody like 11 who has all these abilities and this backstory to her that you've learned that she was basically an experiment, and like that's a challenge in itself.
Well, she was feral. I mean,
basically,
for lack of a better word, she was a feral child.
Yes.
And I think that his choice to live in the woods, deep in the woods in that cabin together, was probably the best way to kind of bring her into.
Yeah, it was a great way to kind of transition her into a normal life. Like
I don't know what the word there is. Transition her to what, he domesticated her. Like that sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible, but it's kind of true. I mean,
I know, but I just hate it.
I mean, like he allowed her connections to the outside world, but not too much to overwhelm her. Like everything he was doing was something that he felt was the right way to do this. But as somebody who's never done this before, this is all new territory for him. But I love that, especially throughout season 3 when when Elle is dating Mike and there's the whole mall situation. Like I love the fact that even though she was this feral person, this feral child that's come into this world and he's stepping up, there are still actual fatherly things that happen, like keeping the door open when they're in the bedroom together.
Yes.
And things like that. Like it makes me smile
Well,
and he does like the whole threatening of the boyfriend thing when he has the conversation with Mike in the truck and everything. It's just
that was great. That was great.
And when he goes into the convenience store to see to see Will's mom, I can't remember her name now.
Joyce,
that's it. Yeah, Joyce Byers. When he goes in to see Joyce, he's all happy because he thinks he's doing the right thing, and it leads to a whole bunch of other stuff happening. But
my favorite was when he had the index cards. He was trying.
Yes.
He was trying to practice what he was going to say with index cards, but I mean, like I have an almost 11-year-old daughter right now. And I got to tell you, sometimes I wish that we like wrote it all down on index cards too. Like this is a real weird age, like that whole tween puberty hormone fueled, what is happening with the child that I have kind of situation. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think he handled it really well. Like he was totally a dad. Sorry, I stepped on you. No. Remember the index cards.
We're kind of sharing this point anyway. But yeah, it's just, but I love that also in the end, like, yes, he does survive it, as we have found out. But at that point in time, he didn't think he was going to. He was making the sacrifice because it meant protecting Elle as well as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was willing to make the sacrifice to make sure that she was safe. And even throughout everything, there are those moments where he doesn't know where she's at. He's assuming she's at home. But in the midst of everything that's happening, he gets on that radio just to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the case that she's listening.
Right.
He doesn't even know for sure that she is.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and then, you look at, which is obviously a beautiful relationship between Jim and 11. But we see significant flashbacks of him being a dad while his daughter is sick and going through that entire process. And it's heartbreaking. And he stays by her side and he loves her unconditionally. And he goes into the hallway to cry his brains out. And then he comes back to be strong for his daughter. So, you see kind of how he was as a dad, and to be that devoted of a father, and then to lose everything, including the mother of his child as well. And then he gets this second chance with 11. There's something really beautiful about that whole arc and how he takes it on no matter what. And it just shows what a good man he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, not only the heart, but the strength to do that, because who would want to subject themselves to that possibly happening again?
Especially with somebody who has been targeted and who could very well die at any moment,
or at least be taken away from him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's so many wild cards when it comes to 11 and her stability in his life, and he still wants it anyways. And when you see the birth certificate, that he has, that he gets for her, and she's officially Jane Hopper. That is so, so great. It's so cool. And it just solidifies them as a father-daughter, unit. And I remember leaving season 3, just hoping to see them together again. So,
yeah, which I'm sure again, you've seen season 4 so far. I haven't, so I don't know.
Which is why I'm talking about my feelings after watching season 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
this is an incredibly difficult conversation that I'm having right now.
To not spoil anything. So, well, the last 2 episodes drop on July 1st, I think.
4 hours of content.
I know, 2 hours a piece.
I'm so excited.
Each of these episodes were at least an hour and 10 minutes.
90 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, which they're like all mini movies, which is great.
So I was a teacher all year at a middle school. And so usually Dave and I like to take our time with stuff that's dropped like this on Netflix. And we had to binge it all in one weekend, because I knew that when I went into work on Monday,
people were going to be talking about it.
So I had to, and I was just like, I'm so sorry that we have to do this, but it was fine.
I'll probably be starting a couple days before those episodes drop, just so I can give myself a little bit of time to watch. But yeah, I purposely waited because I wanted to be able to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then I guess that's going to be my number 3 then, because you said Jim Hopper was also on your list. All right.
Yes.
So then, okay. So we've got 3 of yours down with 2 left. So that means my number 3 is, I'm just going to say it. It's Johnny Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good one, but he's also kind of terrible.
Well, I mean, in the beginning,
you know what? State your case.
He's in the beginning, he's kind of terrible. But one of the things I love about Johnny Rose is that this is such a dysfunctional family. And when you look at the cast of people that played these characters, you know, Eugene Levy was Johnny Rose, Catherine O'Hara was Moira. Like, the fact that out of this entire cast of people in this show, that Eugene Levy is the straight man cracks me up, because he's usually not. Like, he's usually that over the top character. I mean, and this actually, if you think about it, I don't know why I didn't think of it. It's a movie, not a television series, which is why it didn't come up. He also plays another great dad when he plays Jim's father in the American Pie movies. He's such a good dad, and like catching him with the pie and having an honest conversation with, I mean, good on you, buddy. I mean, again, that's one of the reasons why he didn't come up, is because that's movies and not television. But I mean, I love, you're right. He's kind of a horrible person, but only in the beginning. And even in the beginning, I think it's more a misunderstanding than anything else, because once I think Johnny finally realizes the situation that they're in, he does kind of step up to make sure things go right for his family. We learned that he was a really good businessman. He was an incredibly good businessman. Right. It wasn't an accident that he was so successful and rich and like had let it get to his head. No, he was a really, really good businessman. So yeah, go on. Sorry. But I mean, even at the same time, like he's incredibly supportive of David in his lifestyle and who he chooses to be with. He never once does he question anything about David's lifestyle. He is always 100% behind both of his kids. They make mistakes along the way, but he also kind of steps up to be the kind of father that allows his kids to make the mistakes that they're going to make, and then is there for them to help them recover from the mistakes, which is, in my opinion, is actually is a great way to father children. Is you can't coddle them and not allow them to make the mistakes, because they're never going to learn in that sense. And you know what? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only gone through the show once, but didn't the one slip up that I feel that he really did, he had 2 slip ups, but one of the weird slip ups that he had was when he wasn't really supportive of David and his general store business idea. Like, he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I only watched the season one time through, but I've watched random episodes since then. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right, but I think that was more probably because he didn't see David as the businessman that he was. And I also think it was because David was approaching business different than Johnny was. So Johnny didn't think what David was doing was going to work. He didn't understand that David had to do things his own way. And David ended up being incredibly successful at the same time. But that's also a really good point also, is that, you know, as much as David had evolved as, you know, doing business a different way, he still learned from watching his father, no doubt. And the fact that Johnny Rose was able to be proud of what his son had achieved. And he came around on getting to know his kids. I mean, he didn't know his kids before the fall, right? The quote unquote fall of the Rose Empire, right? So now that they're in this town, you know, they all got to know each other, which, you know, he finally did get to see David not as a joke, but as somebody who is worthy of owning a business and having real adult conversations with. And la, 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 Alexis. Sorry, I can't. That song that she sings when she was like a fake pop star was just the funniest thing in the whole world. But like, you know, and how supportive he is and watching her grow, and you're absolutely right. He's
everything he did was for his family once he got out of his own way.
Well, and and that's exactly it. Like, I think very similarly to Philip Banks, the lifestyle they were living, he was kind of absent. Like he was kind of blind to a lot of different things that were going on because they had the means that he didn't really have to pay attention to it. But once they were taken out of that situation, like Phil was taken out of that situation because now he had another person living in the house that wasn't a child of his own. Johnny Rose was taken out of that situation kind of because it was ripped away from them and they got forced to live below their means. And it wasn't until that happened that Johnny kind of took a look at everything. He took a look at Moira. He took a look at David and Alexis, and he saw what his family had truly become. And at that point, he kind of stepped up to be like, I have to fix this family. It's never directly said I have to fix the family, but that's kind of what it ended up to be. But I want to say at the same time, in addition to all of that too, I love the fact that Johnny also kind of stepped up to be the father for Stevie. Like he became a father figure for Stevie as well.
He did. He totally did. He became a lot of people's kind of confident, in that town. He had so much love to give. And I think it took even him by surprise, and he was in a town with a lot of people that were really willing to receive that love. And so he got a lot of practice, a lot of, what Dave calls getting your reps in, right? If you don't know how to do something, you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And if you haven't done it for years and years, go find other people to father until you get it right somewhere,
Yeah, I still think I still remember my first time watching that series. And I think you and I have talked about this before too. Like I remember really enjoying season 1 and really getting into it in season 2. But I remember, and I've talked to a number of people about this, and all I have to do is just say the season 2 finale and they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. That was the best episode of the series.
The season 2 finale. I just remember the end of that show, the end of that episode when they're all having dinner. And it's the Shits and it's the Roses with their friends from out of town, and they're insulting the town, and they step up and come to like Roland's defense and the town's defense. And then they go to that barn party and they dance together as a family. I just remember watching that episode and being, I love this show. Like this show is, like this episode is what this show is really about. And
I totally agree with you. I'm thinking about the moment when Johnny Rose realizes that his son isn't gay, he's pansexual. And for some reason he had a real rough time swallowing that one. He was drunk with Roland, I guess, at like some outdoor barbecue restaurant or something like that. And he's like, I'm fine with him being gay. But at least that's just one direction. And now you're telling me it can be anything. It's just great.
Yeah, that's just, Johnny Rose had to be on my list. When I was going through and I was thinking of other TV dads, I got to Schitt's Creek, and I'm like, yeah, like Johnny's just like, it's kind of dysfunctional in some ways, but he does the job. Yeah. And that's what makes him a great TV dad.
This is what makes anybody a good dad, is just showing up
and doing the job.
Show up.
Well, that leads us to our top 2, or in your case, the 2 that are left on your list.
No, I have a few more for honorable mentions.
Well, yeah, I have a couple.
As we've been talking, I've written down a couple more, and I'm like, oh, that one. Oh, that one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, honorable mentions we'll go through really quickly, but we still have 2 more on the top 5 list. So number 2, what do we got?
So number 2 is a little strange because it's not just one person. And I wanted to choose Danny Tanner from Full House.
When you said not one person, I had a feeling this is where you were going.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Danny Tanner. It was Danny Tanner. It was Uncle Jesse. It was Uncle Joey Gladstone, Jesse Kotsopoulos, and Danny Tanner. Those 3 men, when everything went wrong for Danny's 3 daughters, they all stepped up. They moved, like Jesse and Joey moved into that house. They stopped their entire lives to be home, or to be in Danny's home. And Danny didn't have to, quit his job. He didn't have to stop being a dad. He had that support network and he had that help. And Jesse and Joey, they didn't know anything about kids. They knew nothing about kids. That was very apparent in the early episodes. But the three of those dads and the three of those girls became, for me, such a strong family unit to really inspire to be. I mean, I grew up, so Stephanie Tanner is my age, Jodie Sweetin. So I started watching the show when I was her age. And so it was just so great to see these three guys that just would sit down on the bed at the end of the episode and have that moment where you learn the lesson of the episode. But it wasn't just Danny. It wasn't just Jesse. It wasn't just Joey. It was either all three of them or a combination of them. But you always knew that those girls had support and they had a parent figure there for them. And so I don't think it's fair to pick any one of those men, because I think that they're all deserving of that spot of being just the best collective TV dad possibly ever, with the exception of my number one.
No, that's a really good point. I have Danny Tanner on. He's in my honorable mentions list. But you're absolutely right. When you look back and you look at that show, yeah, Joey and Jesse were doing just as much of the work as Danny was, if not in some ways more, because like you said, Danny still had to go to work. He still had to go to the studio every day and do his job so that he could keep food on the table for the three girls. So when he wasn't there, Joey and Jesse stepped up to do the other work. So you're absolutely right. It's the three of them not to take anything away from Danny. But the three of them together are what held that family together.
100%.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you have Danny, and if it had just been like a nanny and Danny Tanner and those three girls, they probably wouldn't have caught all the stuff that, Joey and Jesse probably saw that Danny didn't see because of their different personality backgrounds or their rocker moments or, their silly moments. And so they were able to use all of their life experience and being present. And it wasn't a job for them. It was, it was true, unconditional love, and so that, all of my best TV memories when I was a kid comes from watching Full House. So. No,
and I get it. It's a great choice. Like I said, not taking anything away from Danny Tanner, putting him on my honorable mentions and not in my top five.
Yeah.
He's still an amazing TV dad, and he deserves to be recognized, as do Joey and Jesse. And I think that's one of the things that made it so heartbreaking when Bob Saget passed away early this year, is that because, like you, so many people looked at him as the ultimate TV dad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, Joey and Jesse were also just as much there as, which I think is one of the reasons why Bob Saget and, oh my God, what is Jesse's real name?
John Stamos.
John Stamos. Sorry. Yeah. God. They became best friends in real life, so. And it was through that show and through that connection of those characters that they became real life best friends. Right. They became like brothers in real life. So no, that's a good choice. And I had a feeling, I was hoping at least one of us would put it in their top five.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a guarantee. So how about you?
So my number two, very similar to the same way that you looked at Danny Tanner and you kind of emulated that family life, like when you were little, and that's kind of what you wanted. That's kind of what my number two is.
Oh, good.
My number two, the opposite side of this was in my top five for TV moms. So he has to be in my top five for TV dads. I went with Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Of course I did. Home Improvements is still to this day one of my all-time favorite sitcoms. But as I mentioned in the top five TV moms episode, Tim and Jill, when I was younger and I was growing up, this was the family that I wanted. Like, this was the family, like this was the kind of husband I wanted to be, with the wife that I wanted, with the relationship with the kids that he had, like the kind of father that was stern when he needed to be, and dealt out the punishment when it needed to be done. But when it wasn't that time, they were pranking each other. They were joking with each other. They were fooling around with each other. Like, it was just a lovable household.
Yeah.
And Tim, to me, I still watch Home Improvement to this day and I still laugh. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen those episodes. Like, I still adored that whole family bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't put Jill in my top 5 TV moms without putting Tim in my top 5 TV dads. Mm-hmm. He, if not for one other person, which is my number 1, he would have, it's close. He could have been in that number 1 spot. But my number 1 is somebody who I've discovered actually more recently, which is probably why they're number 1 now and not Tim. But that doesn't take anything away from Tim.
Right. And that's the same thing with Danny Tanner for me, right? Yeah. The same thing with the Full House dads. And it's so funny because they're from a very similar time period in life, and I think that it's like that whole nostalgia. Although I think Home Improvement came out in the 90s.
Yes.
And Full House came out in the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
Like 1986.
But at the same time, too, I want to say that just similarly to the relationship he had with his 3 boys in Home Improvement, I also kind of think that Mike Baxter from Last Man Standing would be a Tim Taylor / Mike Baxter, because it's still Tim Allen. It's still that same family relationship, except now it's his wife is Vanessa and he has 3 girls instead of 3 boys. Okay. The only reason why I didn't put Mike Baxter with Tim Allen or with Tim Taylor is because Last Man Standing, while just as great, and I think in some ways even superior than Home Improvement, Mike Baxter's character was a little more, could be at times overly political, which was kind of a reflection of Tim Allen. Rather than just where Home Improvement was a reflection of his stand-up. Yeah. Last Man Standing was more a reflection in some ways of his actual beliefs.
It's a reason why I don't watch the show.
Which, I mean, again, is totally fine. I'm able to separate the actor from the project.
No. I mean, I know that the show itself has a lot of conservative ideals.
Yes. Yeah.
Written into the show. That's why I don't care. Like Tim Taylor, what's his real name? Tim Allen. Tim Allen's hilarious and he's wonderful, but if I don't want to watch the subject matter, I don't have to. Yeah,
exactly. And that's perfectly fine. I still watched it. And it wasn't even until a little bit later into the show that those things started coming in. But at the same time, I so in a little bit of defense of the show, not to make you watch it, but while his character, Mike Baxter, had those conservative ideals at times, his wife and his kids were they projected the other side of direction. They projected the opposite. So while his character reflected on his real life, the show itself still wrote in the other side of it. There were characters that were very liberal and stuff. So they did do both sides, but of course they just made Mike Baxter the conservative because that's what Tim Allen is. So, but again, back to it. Tim the Toolman Taylor, one of my all-time, and probably forever will be one of my all-time favorite dads.
That's such a great choice. Yeah, I totally forgot about that show. I totally forgot about all of that. But yeah, I have a lot of memories tied to that show as well. Yeah. And he is a good TV dad for sure. That's a great choice. I have no words today.
That's all right. But we have one left in our top 5 favorite TV dads. So number 1, what's your
Jack Pearson?
Oh,
Jack Pearson. It's Jack Pearson. And if it's if anybody, I'll fight somebody on this. You don't like anybody who watches this show. Okay, if you don't watch This Is Us, then you don't know, and I forgive you for it. But
I don't watch This Is Us, so I don't know.
If you watch This Is Us, and Jack Pearson isn't your favorite TV dad ever, then I question your heart. I really question your heart because, oh my gosh, every part of Jack Pearson, Jack Pearson is shown largely in flashbacks in the show, and he is just this almost mythical father, like he just everything he did was for his kids. He was unapologetic about it. Everything he did. I mean, this is a man that, and it's set up in the very first episode. This is a man that he marries the love of his life after coming back from the Vietnam War. And he's got a lot of PTSD from the Vietnam War, but he is determined to make something of himself. He comes from an abusive alcoholic father, and his brother is kind of out to lunch, and his mom won't leave the dad. And he just leaves determined to rewrite his story. And he finds this woman who he is just head over heels in love with, Rebecca. And the two of them get married. They get pregnant with triplets. They go to the hospital. They lose one of the babies. Only two of them are born. And in tandem, what happens is that there is another baby that is dropped off at the fire station, or not the fire station, the hospital after, well, and that story is different, but this baby shows up at the hospital and is laying right next to the two twins. And he takes that one home as well. And now he has his triplets. And, there's a whole lot of story that goes with that one decision, right? But he makes their lives the best he possibly can. He works himself to the bone. He hides anything from them that isn't something that is positive or wonderful or just, doing the absolute best that you can. And that, like, he has this message for all of his kids. He's got wonderful singular relationships with each one of the triplets. And he makes it his business to get in their business. He takes each of their strengths and he wants to just make sure that they get everything that they need to be as successful at what they want to be at for them and not for him. And, he jumps into a burning house to save the dog. I mean, anybody that hasn't seen the show, I don't want to reveal too much just because it is such a fantastic show. I haven't seen the last season just because I've been too busy to watch new TV. But oh my gosh, is he just, even 40 years later, his children are passing on his traditions that he started in their own families. Everything that they do is with Jack Pearson in mind. Everything that they are is because of Jack Pearson. And it doesn't hurt that he's like a really good looking dad too. Like super duper good looking dad, but he's perfect. He's perfect. He is perfect.
Okay. No, I totally, again, I don't watch This Is Us. It's on my list to get to eventually.
Yeah.
Because I know of so many people that actually do love this show. And the older I get, the more I like emotional television, like a show that will get me emotional, whether it's happy or sad. Like, I actually enjoy that kind of stuff.
Then
now.
This is your show.
That's what I've been told before too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've also I know it's kind of become a joke, but like, isn't he like killed by a crock pot or something? Don't reveal. Don't say whether or not I'm right. I know there's some kind of like house fire that's because of a malfunctioning crock pot or something, but whatever. But no, I mean, I know a lot of people who would probably agree with you about Jack Pearson.
I'm sure that anybody that loves Jack Pearson like I do and knows that I was saving and hadn't heard it yet in my top 5 knew that Jack Pearson would be it. But Jill, I know if you're listening, that one was for you, because I know that you were like number 1, Jack Pearson.
So no, that's a good choice. I mean, again, I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list to watch. So hopefully when I get to that point, we'll be having conversations about it.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
So, well, I guess that leads me to my number 1.
Yes.
Which I don't have nearly as much to say about as you did,
sorry.
Jack Pearson. No, it's totally fine.
I'm sorry.
This was a show that I started watching when it first came on, and I kind of fell out of it. And then it wasn't until a couple months ago that I basically binged through all 11 seasons of this show. I think it's 11. My number one is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
He's such a good dad.
He is, in my opinion, he is the one character more than any other character. I loved every character on that show. There was not one character I did not like. From the parents to the kids, there was not one character on the show I did not like. But Phil Dunphy, the sass that Lily had is amazing. But Phil Dunphy made Ty Burrell made me laugh more times than anybody else on that show. He is basically me as a dad. Like, he is goofy. He comes up with these weird, crazy inventions that he wants to market, but at the same time, like, he's doing the realtor school. But like, and I'm talking a lot about like the goofiness and the hilarity that comes with him as a father. But at the same time, like, he is another one of those that when it came down to it, Papa Bear stepped up and came out when it came to his kids. Mm-hmm. Haley in particular. I mean, there's one scene in particular where I remember one episode in particular where she's dating an older guy, like a jean salesman or something like that. And Phil does not like this guy at all. And he really is worried about him. And then when they leave together, he goes to bat and says, I'm not letting my daughter leave with somebody like this. And I'm paraphrasing the whole episode. Mm-hmm. And Haley actually happens to see and hear Phil talk about this. And it makes Haley realize how much Phil actually cares as a father. But when you look at
I remember that scene.
When you look at the dysfunction of his kids, because Haley's a college dropout, you've got his son who is just
dumb as a bag of dicks.
Well, I wasn't going to say dicks, but okay.
I'm sorry. Are we not? Is this a clean?
No,
clean show?
It's not a clean show at all. So
okay,
you can say it. But like Claire he has a trophy of a wife in Claire, because Claire is incredibly beautiful. She's incredibly smart. She's business savvy because she gets it from her father, Jay. But you have Haley, you have Alex, you have Luke, who could not be three different kids in the sense, and he goes with it every step of the way. And at the same time, like, he is a friend to his brother-in-law Mitchell and Cameron. Like, he to me, he is just, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest TV dads that I've ever seen. And he was immediately, like I said, Phil Dunphy and Tim Taylor were the two that I knew had to be top of my list. It was just a matter of which position were they going to be in.
Yeah. Gosh, I love Phil Dunphy. He's great.
I still go back and like you with New Girl, I will go into Modern Family and just hit shuffle.
That's a good one.
And I will just watch, because like I said, I binged through all 250 episodes.
That's so many episodes.
11 seasons, and I binged it, I think, in 2 months, which was crazy.
That's a lot of television.
It was a lot, but I still did it. So
you still loved it.
I loved every second of it. And I just, like, from him wanting to be a magician to an inventor, like, he had all these aspirations of being somebody different, but no matter what those aspirations were, he never gave up the day job because he knew it put food on the table, and he never gave up being a dad. Like, that was, if anything, he included his kids in his aspirations. Yeah. Which I thought was great.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great choice. Great choice.
Number one, Phil Dunphy, Modern Family. Had to.
That's awesome. Number one, Jack Pearson, always.
Before we go to break, let's knock out a couple honorable mentions for these, and we'll go through these pretty quickly. What's some of the ones that you have on your list?
So one that I have was on my original top 5, but I bumped him because it was just way too controversial. But Heathcliff Huxtable.
Cliff Huxtable is on my honorable mentions too. Again, being able to separate the actor from the role. If you separate Bill Cosby from playing Cliff Huxtable is an amazing father.
Oh my gosh. He was number one worthy. He's number one worthy. Yeah. It's just hard to watch the show. It's hard to think about the show without thinking about everything that he did on that set. It's difficult.
It is. I agree.
Which is why he has been bumped from number one to honorable mentions, because he had what a great dad. I mean, and talk about somebody who could be goofy with the kids, but also he brought down the hammer when he needed to. And those kids were successful, and they were family oriented, and they were all there for each other. And a lot of that has to do with Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
I watched that show every single weekend.
I watched reruns of it when it was in syndication.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that show. So the scene when Theo gets his ear pierced and they're on the couch
and he keeps leaning over in the direction.
Leaning in the same direction over and over. It's one of the funniest scenes ever.
I still remember one of my favorite moments of that show is when Theo wants to drop out of school and go out on his own. So Cliff gives him the Monopoly money to figure out what his life is. Yeah. And when he has a couple dollars left, he's like, "You plan to have a girlfriend?" He's like, "Of course." And he just takes the rest of the money. But at the same time, like, in addition to being a great father to his 3 kids and a great husband to Claire, like, he was a great son to his own parents at the same time. Those anniversary episodes.
5 kids.
Did I say 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even say I read. I think I was still thinking Phil Dunphy.
That's okay.
But he was a great son to his own parents too. Those anniversary episodes when they would do the lip syncing to like Motown music, were some of my favorite episodes. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, I've loved that whole family, the whole Huxtable family. I just, like I said, like we grew up on that. That was the show that we grew up on, was the Cosby Show. And for it to be tarnished in the way that it is makes me really sad. But he is one of the all-time, if not the all-time best dad. Yeah. So I know we were supposed to go quick through the honorable mentions, but I think that one needed a little bit of time just because it is controversial. Yes. It was on both of our honorable mentions for the same reason, that because it is controversial, we didn't want to put them in our top 5. Right. So yeah, honorable mentions are usually really quick, but that one, I think that one was good that we spent a couple minutes. 100%. So another one that I had was Jin from Lost. Only because he sacrificed everything for the life of his child. So a father who's an amazing father to a child that he never got to meet is something else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He sacrificed himself for the life of his child that he never even met. Right. Like that's fantastic. Hands down. Yeah. So, but that was my only other honorable mention, those 2. Okay. I mean, I have a couple. Gomez Addams from the Addams Family. Just very because nice. He's just Gomez is the man. Because he's Gomez. Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. Oh, interesting choice. Very nice. He does become a father a little bit later on. Yes, he does. Burt Hummel from Glee, who was Kurt's father. Kurt was the one that came out as gay in the show, but the author of the Land of Stories novels. Is that in Chris Coffer? Chris Coffer, yes. Yeah. But the reason why I chose Burt was back when I was watching Glee. I remember that because Burt was like the man's man. He was into sports. He seemed the type that would kind of be against having a son coming out as gay and reject him. Exactly. But he was quite the opposite. Like he realized, I need to be there because he was a single father. The mother wasn't in the picture. He was the one that needed to step up to support him. And that's exactly what he did. Mm-hmm. So that's a good choice. Burt Hummel was on my list. Dan Connor from Roseanne. Take out Roseanne because I was never really a fan of Roseanne, but Dan was always a great father figure. And one that I think some people might put on their worst fathers list, but I'm putting him on my best, favorites because he was another one that kind of insulted his kids a lot, but put the hammer down when it needed to. Red Foreman from That 70s Show.
Oh, okay.
I loved Red. I mean, how many times can you get away with calling your own kid a dumbass?
Well, he was a dumbass in Red's defense.
But yeah, he was absolutely right.
Yeah, he was absolutely right. And probably another honorable mention would probably be Rick Grimes from Walking Dead.
From Walking Dead.
Yeah, absolutely. I would put him in that honorable mention category because he made a lot of terrible decisions. But under the circumstances, the way that he protected Carl at all costs of his entire of his being. He deserves to be on that list for sure.
Yeah. I think another one that I'll throw on mine too, just before we wrap for break, is another one that possibly could be on worst TV dads list, but I love him, is Al Bundy.
Dave wanted me to put Al Bundy on the top 5, like real bad.
Really?
And I said, Dave, I don't watch that show.
I mean, he's another one that seemed like a deadbeat father, but when it came to protecting his kids, he would literally fight. Like, I don't mean argue, like he would punch people for the protection of his own daughter and his son. So I think he deserves to be on best, not worst. So a lot of great ones that we mentioned for tops. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do something a little fun, and we're going to talk about our top 3 worst TV dads. And we'll go a little quicker with this one as well. Yeah. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. This episode of Wilhelm is brought to you in part by Entertainment Earth. If you are a fan of pop culture collectibles just like I am, Entertainment Earth is your one-stop shop for everything you need, with toys, collectibles, and apparel from so many franchises like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Transformers, Back to the Future, one of my favorites, and more, made from manufacturers such as Funko, Lego, Hasbro, and Mattel, just to name a few. I guarantee you will find something that will fill that collectible void, including many things you can't even find in stores. And best of all, Entertainment Earth offers the option to pre-order any of their upcoming new items at no money down, meaning you don't pay until it ships. How awesome is that? So check out their site, do some shopping, and help support Wilhelm by using the link in the show notes of this episode to browse the site. Entertainment Earth, great collectibles at great ease. All right, guys, we're back. And like I mentioned right before the break, we've never done this on Wilhelm before, but Kristin, this was your idea to do top 3 worst dads as well.
Because I kept thinking of worst ones when we were making the list.
So we figured, like, why not? This will be a little fun. We'll do top 3 instead of top 5. And then if we have honorable mentions, we can mention them too. Mm-hmm. But let's dive in and do top 3 worst dads on television. I have a feeling one of ours might be the same, but we'll find out. Okay. Kick us off. Number 3 worst TV dad. Who do you got?
Ted from Stranger Things.
Ted.
Okay, that guy.
That's Mike's dad, right?
Yes.
He is useless.
He is useless. He doesn't know where his kids. He sleeps in a recliner. He doesn't know what's going on at the dinner table. He doesn't know where his children are at any point, and he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He is every dad in the 80s. He's not every dad in the 80s, but he is a pretty stereotypical dad in the 1980s, to tell you the truth. And it's just, maybe it's like my own kind of PTSD coming back from my 80s childhood. But every time I see Ted, I'm just like, you're the worst. You're just the worst.
He's not in my top 3, but he is. You're absolutely right. I remember when I rewatched seasons 1 through 3 recently of that show, there are moments where I'm like, God, you are a horrible father.
It's just a horrible.
No clue what is going on, right?
Ever.
I mean, there's one point I think where he's so bad of a father that his wife almost cheated on him.
with
the
a
lifeguard
high
at the pool,
schooler.
with the high schooler.
Yeah. Or he's so bad of a father that 11 was living in his basement.
And he had no idea. Well,
idea.
to be fair, the mom didn't, nobody like in the house.
Oh, she would be on my worst mom's list too, but we're talking about dads.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because she's not any better.
No, she's no angel either. Mrs. Wheeler is no angel either.
Ted and Mrs. Wheeler are terrible. Is her name Karen?
I think it is Karen.
Oh, of course it is.
Of course. That's hysterical. I didn't even pick up on that. Oh, of course. I think it is Karen Wheeler. No, that's a good one. It's not in my top 3, but that's a good choice.
Thank you. How about
you? My number 3, this is the one maybe we share or not. My number 3 is Roger Peralta.
No, but what a good one.
Jake's dad from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, he is the worst.
He is a horrible father. He cheated on Jake's mom, walked out of her life. He was a horrible father. There's really not much else I can say about that.
Entered back into Jake's life and got him all excited about a relationship when Jake realized it was just to get him out of a ticket and get him out of trouble. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh.
He was just a horrible father. There's not really much else I can say about it. Like, he just was a horrible dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
hilarious.
I'm surprised that one was not on your list.
It isn't, because I have 2 other really good ones. I have 3 other really good ones. But so my number 2 worst dad is, oh wait, are we done?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My number 2 worst dad is Ned Stark from Game of Thrones.
Okay. I have a Game of Thrones dad in my honorable mentions. Not Ned, though.
It's Ned Stark. Everybody loved Ned Stark. Ned Stark, the best, blah, 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 blah. Here's what Ned Stark did. Ned Stark promised his daughter to Joffrey Baratheon, who was a spoiled brat of a kid. And when he knew that Joffrey was lying, still killed a direwolf. Still killed one of the direwolves to make Joffrey happy. Then he agreed to be hand of the king and move his entire family to King's Landing, even though his son had just fallen from a tower and they didn't know if he was going to live or die. And he just left him there. His 2 youngest kids just left them there. They never saw their dad again. And then he left all of his kids when he knew life was not going to be good. He didn't just cut bait and run and say, you know what? F this, I'm out of here. No, he stayed. He kept his kids in that horrible situation. And when he died, all of the rest of the show happened.
That's okay. That's a good point. Yeah.
So Ned Stark, honorable, la, 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 la. I don't care. He was not the best of dads.
Well, Ned Stark is not the Game of Thrones dad I have in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So
it's full of bad dads. If we're going to be,
oh my God, that show
should be called Game of Bad Dads.
That show is full of bad dads and worse moms. Like, it's, I mean, that could be like a subtitle of the show.
Yeah. Mommy and daddy issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, talk about Lost. Lost is another show of daddy issues.
Oh my gosh. Totally. Yeah. Jack's dad.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about Jack's dad, too.
Okay. Well, let's throw him on the board. Put it on the board.
There we go. Put it on the board. So my number 2 is a show that I haven't seen in a while, but thinking about horrible TV dads. He's so bad that he's still stuck out in my mind. I went with George Bluth Sr. from Arrested Development.
I have never seen that show.
It's a great show. It loses a little bit of luster when Netflix took it over and they changed the format of it. But the seasons that were on Fox were fantastic. Like, it was such a great show. But George Bluth was he was a real estate mogul who did nothing. His kids to him were nothing but pawn pieces that he manipulated to help him in business. Great. Like, that's all they were. But I mean, like, one of the main reasons why I love Arrested Development is because I love Jason Bateman and he is one of the leads of the show. But like, he George Bluth Sr. did nothing but manipulate. He never loved them. He just manipulated them for the sake of growing his business. To the point where like he actually ends up going to jail for light treason. That's the reasoning, is light treason.
Can you get convicted for light treason?
Yeah, well, that's part of the joke of the show. To the point that that's the whole premise of the show, is that he gets arrested and his son, Michael, which is Jason Bateman's character, has to take over this business and he begins to realize that he was nothing more than just part of all of this. And it's a great premise. It's a hysterical premise, but George Bluth Sr. was just horrible. He's a horrible.
Oh my gosh, what a terrible. Yeah, I hate those kinds of dads.
So, but what have you got? I'm very curious now. What's your number one for worst TV dad?
Dexter Morgan.
Okay, I questioned putting him in my honorable mentions because I feel like there's a little bit of redemption in New Blood. But if you can, I know I can see your face. But if you consider Dexter itself and take New Blood off the board, he is a horrible father.
I leave New Blood on there. He's still a horrible father. He's still a horrible father, but I feel like there's some redemption points a little bit. Have you seen the whole New Blood show? Okay. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, just fast forward just a little bit right now. Okay. Ready?
There's a spoiler warning at the beginning of the show.
Okay. Well, it's a new enough show though, right? So in New Blood, he lets Harrison in on the ritual, on the sacred ritual, sees how horrified his son is, but doesn't see it at the same time. Like he's chopping up a human being in front of his son. His son has to leave. His son is so horrified by the monster that his father is, he kills him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You've made some good points.
I'm sorry. I'm just like every single episode, I'm always like, he's such a bad dude. Like I loved watching Dexter back when, before I had kids.
It changes the way you look at it.
Oh my gosh, does it ever? But it's just like everything about Dexter Morgan when it came to him having a family, having children, having stepchildren. I mean, he just was terrible at it. He was terrible at it. And even when, after Rita died, he should have stopped. He should have stopped everything after Rita died, because that was the ultimate horrible thing that could have happened. And the ultimate blowback on his life, on his secret life, on his dark passenger, right?
Yeah, the ultimate repercussion.
Thank you. Repercussion.
Yeah.
At that point, if I walk in and I see my infant son in a pool of my wife's blood, something you got to, if you don't snap out of it after that, then you need to give up the child for adoption. That will put you on best dad status. If I can't be a father. But he said, oh, I could be a father and a secret serial murderer, and I can also maybe have a job.
Okay. All right. I guess Dexter Morgan's on my honorable mentions now.
Oh, he wasn't before.
Like I said, I questioned putting him on there because I thought there was a little bit of redemption.
Oh, okay.
You've kind of erased it from my mind. The redemption qualities.
How about your number one?
My number one, again, with a bullet, my opinion of the worst TV father ever, Frank Reynolds, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The character,
Danny DeVito's
Danny DeVito's character from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is a man who, while being the father of two children and kind of a surrogate to another, would sell those children if it made him $10. Oh my gosh. Like, he is a master manipulator. He is a scumbag to the nth degree.
Gross.
Like, he is the kind of father that if he was handed $50,000, like if somebody gave him the choice of like, I will give you $50,000 to spend on yourself, or I will give you $100,000 to spend on your children, he's taking the $50,000 for himself. he cares nothing for the children that he has.
Great.
He would cheat, lie, and swindle them to find success in his own life.
That's gross.
Which is why he is such a failure. And his kids are failures too. Like, I know a lot of people, like our mutual friend Jason. He didn't want to watch Always Sunny because he didn't like the idea of a show about horrible people. And
that's why I don't watch it.
Well, I was because he hates the idea of good things happening to bad people. And I told him, I was like, that's not this show. Nothing good happens to these people. They are horrible people and horrible things happen to them. Like, that's why I watch it, is because they are horrible people. Nothing good ever happens to these people, ever. And this show it's one of the longest running sitcoms of all time. It's still going. And I think there's at least 2 more seasons signed.
Oh my gosh.
I've been crazy. On 2 episodes of this show. Like, I love the show, but Frank Reynolds, I've met Danny DeVito. Like, I've had lunch with Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. They are the nicest people in
Have they talked about that show?
This was early on. This was probably Danny DeVito joined the show in the 2nd season. So this was probably going around like the 3rd season of the show that this happened. I had a trip to LA, and the person I was staying with actually knew Danny. So I actually ended up having lunch with Danny and Rhea. And we didn't talk about the show once. Danny just loves to talk movies with people who love movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's all we talked about. Like,
I
we
love
just
that.
Talked movies. And then when I did those 2 episodes, I saw Danny on set and he remembered who I was. And we just kept talking movies.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the reasons why, like, it cracks me up. Like, the character he plays is so deplorable. He is one of the worst dads in television history, played by one of the nicest guys in real life.
Well, that's just like the guy that plays Joffrey Baratheon is the nicest guy in the whole world. So,
and he plays such a deplorable person.
Oh my gosh, what a horrible human existence. Human excuse for whatever. You get it.
Yeah. But let's throw out a couple honorable mentions for worst TV dads. What do you have, like, one on your list?
Yeah, I have one or two. Yeah.
Who's your honorable mention? Right
now, I almost put him in my top 3, but only because I haven't seen the show in a while and I couldn't name specifics. But Arlo Givens from Justified. So the TV show Justified, U.S. Deputy Marshal Raylan Givens has a dad named Arlo Givens, who is the worst human in the show. It says,
I've yet to watch.
It is such a good show. It's such a good show. And Arlo is a very complex character. He, you go kind of back and forth on him a little bit, but underneath all of that back and forth is still a deplorable human being. It's still somebody who plotted to have his son murdered. It's, it's without giving too much away, because it's such a fantastic show. I mean, from start to finish, that show is fan-frickin-tastic.
It's on my list to watch.
He never, ever stopped hating his son. So Arlo Givens.
I know the actor. Yeah, I'm looking up. Just I wanted to see what actor portrayed him, and yeah, I'm familiar with the actor Raymond Barry. I've seen him in some other projects as well. So no, Justified is on my list. It's one of those ones that it's Justified and Deadwood are kind of Justified, Deadwood, and Ozark are the 3 shows at the top of my list right now.
So as somebody who has seen 2 of those 3 shows, Deadwood's good, but it's not as good as Justified. And I watched the first episode of Ozark, and the subject material didn't sit right with me. So we'd never watched a second.
And Justified is coming back too. Did you not know that?
I heard a rumor, but I didn't know if that was actually true.
Oh, they're already filming. Yeah, Justified is coming back. I don't know if it's a movie or a series, but yeah,
I'll take it.
There's already pictures of Timothy Olyphant on set. Like, they're coming back.
I love him.
So do I. Yeah, I like him as well.
Yeah. And then another honorable mention would be, one more honorable mention would be Tony Soprano.
So Tony Soprano is in my honorable mentions.
Okay, good. So you talk about him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say much about him.
Okay.
Anything. Like I said, I'm just going to go through these really quick. 2 animated horrible fathers, Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin.
Yep.
Horrible fathers. Tony Soprano is on my list. Walter White from Breaking Bad is on my list as a horrible father.
He's a horrible character.
My Game of Thrones horrible father, Tywin Lannister.
Was he? No, he
hated his son. I mean,
he hated his son.
He hated his son. I mean, to me, that alone makes you a horrible father.
Yeah.
Frank Gallagher from Shameless was just a complete and total scumbag.
I still haven't seen that show.
It's good. A current horrible father, Homelander from The Boys. Because
I don't.
God, you're missing.
Don't watch that show.
You're missing out on that show. Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. As much as I love Johnny in the early series of the show, he's a horrible father. And one that I think you might agree with as well. My last honorable mention: Michael Dawson from Lost.
Oh, yes. Golly,
Michael Dawson is a horrible father.
Yeah, his whole life is made up of trying to do his best to make up for the last shitty thing that he did.
Yeah.
And he never stops doing terrible things.
He keeps doing terrible things and it cost him his life.
Yeah. Well,
so, yeah. I have 2 actually from the same show that I just didn't know where they fit. I didn't know if they fit in horrible or best. But if you're familiar with the television show Raising Hope,
yes.
Bert Chance and Jimmy Chance. I don't know where they fit. They're kind of in limbo because there are moments. First off, I love Garrett Dillahunt. Like, adore
who doesn't?
Garrett Dillahunt. That's why I love Raising Hope. Bert, like he's a horrible father, but he's a great father at the same time in so many ways. Jimmy's the same way. I put them in limbo because I didn't know where they fit. So.
I only saw like the first 1 or 2 seasons, but I think that they could honestly go either way.
Yeah, I do too. That's just it. I think depending on where they're at in the season, they could go either way. But
isn't that parenthood? I mean, honestly, isn't that parenthood? You could either every day you could wake up and be the devil or you can be the hero. That's every day of our lives as parents. So,
and I think they lean more towards better than worse because even when they're making the worst decisions, they're always doing it with the best of intentions.
And if that's what you're doing, if you're really trying to do what's best, then you're succeeding as a parent.
Even when you're making the worst.
Even when you're because I've made terrible decisions in the past. I got so mad at my son the other day because he wasn't listening and he was talking back so bad and I had just had enough of it. I took his Avengers Lego set that he had been working on for 4 days and I dropped it and smashed it on the floor into a million pieces. In that instant, I realized I may have gotten away from this one.
This one might have gotten away from me.
Yeah. I cleaned it up myself. So
we do have some listener feedback that I want to read. So let's dive into that before we get ready to get out of here.
Sure.
And I think we're going to kick it off to you to start with the first one.
Yes. Penny Lennox. Hi, Penny. Worst, Tywin Lannister, Stannis Baratheon, and Craster. And I don't know if he's a good father, but I love every second Mr. Wheeler is on screen in Stranger Things. He's so oblivious and cranky in this can't be bothered dry way. Well, I think it makes him a bad father, but
I think so too.
It depends. I don't know how old Penny Lennox is, but if you're over the age of 40, you may have PTSD from your own childhood.
This one comes from our friend Jill. She says, favorite Tim the Tool Man. Taylor, Danny Tanner, Jack Pearson. There you go.
She got,
Mitch Leary and Frank Lambert. I'm not familiar with them.
Frank Lambert.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll look that up later.
Mitch Leary sounds really familiar too. Mitch Leary is Dawson's Creek.
Oh, okay.
So, for worst, she says Walder Frey, Homer Simpson, and Peter Griffin. Honorable mentions for bad: Marty Byrde, Walter White, and Al Bundy. I think Al Bundy goes on the good list.
I love it that it's so easy to come up with the worst ones because they're just so fun to remember.
Right?
Yeah. Des Combs. Hi, Des. I miss you. Great dads. Herschel Green from The Walking Dead.
Oh,
yes.
forgot about Herschel.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're totally right. Oh, he's going on my top 5. I got to bump somebody. Herschel Green from Walking Dead. Mitch and Cam from Modern Family. Hard disagree. Gomez from The Addams Family and Clark Kent from Superman and Lois. Not so great. Frank Gallagher from Shameless, Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother, Ross Geller from Friends, and Michael Dawson from Lost. I will agree, Ross Geller, not the greatest dad, but Mitch and Cam raised a hellion. So
I was wondering why you would say hard disagree.
The product of their parenting is not awesome.
All right, fair enough. Next one comes from Jessica Houses. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. Great stepdad, Bob Newby from Stranger Things. Oh, poor Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Also, Hopper is an interesting case. I don't think he's one or the other, but it's a good showcase of being a maybe not fully equipped caretaker for a severely traumatized kid. Well, we both had him in our top 5. So.
And we did.
Everyone's trying their best, and there's a lot of love, but so much heartbreak and hurt.
Mm-hmm. Jason Kabazi, hello, Jason, says, I think of Rick Grimes biting that guy's throat out for threatening Carl, but I hope he has a damn good excuse for leaving Judith all this time. He better be trapped somewhere. Also, Arthur Cunningham from Happy Days. He could be a bit of a grump, but he was always a solid, caring father. Same with Ward Cleaver from Leave It to Beaver. How old are you? I also have a soft spot for Tom Bradford on 8 is Enough, which I realize not a lot of people probably remember. He was kind of harried, but he did have 8 kids to worry about. Worst, gotta be Cosby. I mean, we didn't know it at the time, but yeah, I can't watch the Cosby Show anymore. Yeah, I mean, and I totally get that, which is kind of why I think we put him in honorable mentions, just because it's really hard to separate that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to make that separation.
I can't with Tom Cruise. I get it.
Oh, see, I can. And I thought the new Top Gun Maverick was fucking phenomenal. So, last for feedback, we have Wendy Ott Eppers. She says top 5, Ned Stark. Oh, she's got the opposite. Jim Hopper, Morty Seinfeld, Jim Halpert. Oh, Jim Halpert's a good one too. And Tony Maselli from Who's the Boss? That's a good one. Fascinating to watch, but terrible dads. Tony Soprano, Walter White, and Marty Byrde. Marty Byrde is an interesting case because it's Ozark, which I haven't watched yet. So,
judging by the first episode, I think that she's right on the money.
Okay. Again, I love Bateman, and I've heard great things about Ozark. So that's one of my next shows to watch.
Yeah, I had a real problem with the first episode, So I'm hoping I can get over myself and watch the rest, because I hate having to miss what, people think is great television.
You got FOMO?
Sometimes I have TV FOMO for sure, because I love to just binge watch a television show. I'll take it. I'll take 5 seasons of a good show over 1 movie any day.
Yeah, I agree with you. But thank you, everybody, for leaving that great feedback. On the next episode of Wilhelm, it's going to fall on 4th of July. So I haven't decided yet. We're either going to do top films that you just watch at 4th of July, which
Independence Day.
That was the other one, is that maybe we're going to do a deep dive into Independence Day.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Most likely that's the one I'm going to do, is we're just going to take the deep dive into the movie Independence.
Who doesn't watch that show on Independence? Who doesn't watch that movie on Independence Day?
I do every year.
Every year.
Year.
You don't start your day until you've watched Independence Day.
Right?
Yes.
So
good.
In between,
I have a great story that has to do with that movie too.
You have to tell me. If you haven't told me already, you might have told me already.
Probably.
I don't know. But in the meantime, between now and then, you can also expect most likely a review of the movie Lightyear, which I'm actually going to see tomorrow. We'll have seen by the time you're hearing this, actually. And coming next week as well. I'm really excited about this. This just got confirmed yesterday. I will be, for the Spotlight series of the show, I will be having on actor William Sadler, who, if you are not familiar with William Sadler, he was the villain in Die Hard 2. He was the president in the X-Men movies, and he was Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Excellent.
So he has a massive, massive catalog of movies that he has been in. He's in my all-time favorite movie, The Shawshank Redemption. He's in The Green Mile. He's in The Mist. He's going to be in the upcoming Salem's Lot. He has done a ton of stuff. I'm so excited to have him on. I've been working on it for a couple weeks.
Good for you.
Finally got it scheduled, so you can expect that sometime in the next couple weeks as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. What about you? We mentioned House of the Dragon coming up. What's going on with you? As far as anything you want to plug?
Is anything I want to plug? Well, I mean, right now, like I said at the top of the show, I'm really boring right now. We just sold all of our stuff and we're about to take a year-long adventure in our camper with our family. So we're coming to a city near you. But right now, I mean, I could tell you what I'm watching right now. Right now, we're really into The Expanse. We're watching the oh my gosh, 6th and final season of the Peaky Blinders, which again, Tommy Shelby, worst dad possibly ever. He definitely goes on the list for an honorable mention or some, he belongs somewhere on that list. He's a fantastic character, but damn, is he not the greatest of dads. Anyways, we're really into watching as a family. We're really into watching Forged in Fire and the Beastmaster, Ultimate Beastmaster, which is something that Adam discovered and now we're watching.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to be podcasting again. Really excited to be podcasting again. It's good to see your face and I don't know.
Have you watched Forged in Fire made me think of it, but have you sat down as a family and watched Flora's Lava?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But once you've watched The Ultimate Beastmaster, Flora's Lava looks ridiculous.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And we just finished watching Bullshit.
Oh, is that the one with Howie Mandel?
Yes.
Is it good?
Yes. It's fun. It's fun, right? It's just super fun.
Any good movies you've seen lately you would recommend to people?
Movies? No. I saw Fantastic Beasts. I really loved it. I know a lot of people hated it and they hate the whole franchise right now just because of whatever reason. But I think that this last movie was really good. And I really hope that they make another movie because I need some resolution to the story that they're telling. Yeah. And I think that they could really nail it if they're given the chance. So,
okay. The only movie I would recommend to people, it's out now if you have an opportunity to watch it. I know not everybody's a fan of this guy, but I love him. I recently watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal. It is so fun. Nicolas Cage has come out himself and said this might be his favorite movie he's ever made because he's playing himself. He's playing an exaggerated version of himself. Mm-hmm. I watched this movie and I love like Face Off and Con Air and The Rock. I won't lie. This might be one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies of all time. So
he just did a Reddit AMA not too long ago. And I think he said that this is his favorite movie that he's ever done, like multiple times in the AMA. So that was a good AMA. I'll have to see if I can find that. I'm sure it's probably out there somewhere. But yeah, I had been wanting to watch it for a while. I missed it when it was in theater. So when it came out on demand, I watched it the first night and I was not him and Pedro Pascal are so good together. Mm-hmm. Like there's one sequence in the movie without giving anything away. I'll just say they're on LSD. And I
there are moments. I don't think I've ever laughed that hard at a Nicolas Cage movie.
Oh, fun.
The two of them together are they're fantastic.
It's in theaters?
No, it's on demand.
Oh, okay. What's it called? Unbreakable?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Okay.
Yes. And it is on my server.
Okay.
So,
and yeah, I love, you know what? I also love Pedro Pascal too.
I can't wait for The Last of Us.
Oh yeah. When I saw that he was, see, that's what I've been waiting for. Cause I'm so bad at video games. I'm so bad at video games that I can't get through the story. So I'm really excited that they're making a movie for us that just want to see the story.
and from what I've heard from multiple people, including people behind the scenes and on the show, they say it is the most loyal representation of a video game ever made.
That's something.
And I've seen some of the screenshots. I've played the games. I've seen some of the screenshots. They look like they are right out of the game. Ooh. So if they are telling the story that the game does, the show is going to be phenomenal. Oh,
I can't wait.
And get ready because it's emotional.
Yeah, no,
it's dark.
I've done the first like hour or two of the game twice.
Just kidding. And the second game, Last of Us 2.
I heard that's even darker.
It's if you think the first game is bad, like I finished the second game. I had to play a kids game afterwards.
Was it Animal Crossing?
I think it was actually.
I like that game.
I think it was. I haven't played it in a while.
We call my Switch the Animal Crossing machine because that's the only game that's ever in it.
Yeah, that's fun. So thank you to everybody who left the feedback as well. I encourage you guys to do so for all future episodes. So follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Wilhelm Podcast. You can follow on Instagram at Wilhelm Podcast. I'm going to start using Twitter a little bit more, which is also at Wilhelm Podcast. But if you want to leave me feedback directly or contact me for any particular reason, whether it's to recommend a show, idea, or even to be a guest, email me it's a new email address that we've been using before. Used to be the wilhelmpodcast@gmail.com, but now it is feedback@wilhelmpodcast.com. We now have our own domain for the podcast.
Very nice.
And soon you'll actually be able to go to wilhelmpodcast.com and leave feedback directly right from the website. That's still in development, so can't do it yet. For now, just go to the Instagram or Facebook at Wilhelm Podcast on all of them, or leave me an email at feedback@wilhelmpodcast.com. Last but not least, if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to, if they allow you to do so. Kristin, I was so happy to finally podcast with you again after all this time.
Me too. This was so much fun. This was so much fun.
We're going to be making the announcement soon. We still have to discuss it a little bit as to exact date, but we're going to make the announcement soon for the Lost podcast to come back, because people have been asking for it, and I know we want to get back to it.
I'm itching.
So we'll talk about that, and once we get that, we'll talk about that in the future. But thank you again for coming on and doing this. This was a long time coming, and
thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I'd love to do this again. This was super fun.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for the support and just being fans of the show. But until next time, we'll see you on another episode of Wilhelm. Bye.
Bye.